Many years ago, I was lucky enough to visit Morocco. It is the most incredible country, the people, the landscape and the food. And I want to show you one of the chicken recipes that I learnt over there. Of course, it's a chicken tagine. Tagine is the dish that you cook it in, the vessel that you cook it in, but I don't have one of those, so I'm going to show you how to do it in your classic saute pan. So I'm using chicken Marylands. I love chicken Marylands. They're forgiving, they're fantastic to stew. I've left the skin on, and as this cooks, the meat is just going to become so tender. So I'm going to marinate this very briefly. We're going to add some extra virgin olive oil to the top. Not a lot, that's just going to act as the glue for our spices. There are so many different spices that you can use, but I'm just going to use turmeric, cumin and ground ginger. We're just going to pour that over the top. We need to season it too, so a really good pinch of salt and a good crack of pepper. And now we just want to massage all of the spices into the chicken on both sides. One thing I also want to do, just to speed up the cooking process, is to score this. So just grab a sharp knife and score this 3 times, all the way down to the bone, and that'll ensure it cooks faster, but also the marinade will get into this. Now, ideally, you want to marinate this for a couple of hours. You could do it the night before. Not essential though. Just make sure you give it a good rub so all of that marinade gets into the nooks and crannies. I'll just clean my hands. Okay, let's pop that to the side for now. Some stock, I've got some hot chicken stock here and I want to perfume it with some saffron. A small pinch of saffron goes a long way, so just a tiny pinch, just like that, goes into the stock, and I'm just going to allow that to steep just for a couple of minutes. All right, the base to this Moroccan stew, lots of onions and garlic. So I'm just going to roughly chop the onions just into 8. And I'm going to pop this into a food processor as opposed to chopping it. I want this to be finely chopped, almost like a puree. 3 cloves of garlic. And if your coriander has the roots and stalks, we'll give that a really good wash and we'll use that because that's flavour. And we're just going to finely chop that. And that can also go into our food processor. All right, lid goes on and we'll finally blend that. Okay, quite happy with that. See how fine that is? Just right. We'll take that blade out. And before we cook our onions, let's get the chicken sealed off. So a large pan, some more olive oil. And we'll just give that a swirl. And because there are spices on the chicken, you don't want to over-sear this. You want to just make sure we get some colour, but not burnt. There's delicate spices here. So skin side down, and they can go in. And you want this large enough to fit the 3 Marylands. Fantastic. All right, I'll give that a minute or 2 on each side, remove them, and then we can add our onion mixture. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up 2 tomatoes. What I like to do with the tomatoes is remove the seeds. I just want a concentrated tomato flavour, so the seeds are a little watery, so I'll just quarter them, take the seeds out, most of the seeds, and then we're just going to roughly chop the tomatoes. You want to use fresh tomatoes for a recipe like this. We don't want it to be a tomato-based sauce. It's about the spices and the chicken, and this is just going to loosen up the sauce a little bit, give it a bit of sweetness. So fresh tomatoes for this, not canned. Gee, it's smelling fantastic in here. The onions have cooked down. I'm going to add all of these tomatoes. And I've got this on a high heat because I want these tomatoes to break down. Give that a stir. Traditionally, a tagine doesn't have too much sauce in it, so I'm not going to add lots of stock to this. I've got a cup, but I might add 3/4 and check it halfway through. The chicken and the tomatoes are also going to give off some water. Now that this is cooked down, we can add our stock. And make sure you get those strands of saffron into the pan. It's looking good. Chicken can go back in. Skin side up this time. Fantastic. Okay. and the lid goes on. This is going to cook for about 45 minutes or until the meat is super tender. And about 15 to 20 minutes before this is cooked, I'm going to add some olives. Green olives are traditional, and also some preserved lemon. So 2 pieces of preserved lemon skin. You want to take the pith out. I'm going to thinly slice that and add it. You got to be careful with preserved lemon. You don't want to add too much because it can be overpowering. So 2 little pieces just like this is enough. All right, the chicken is cooked. Let's have a look at it. We've got all those gorgeous little olives in there. Now to plate this up, I love to serve this with couscous, very traditional again. And I've got some toasted flaked almonds. We'll pop them in. You could also add dried fruit to this, some dried apricots, dates would work nicely too. We'll pop that onto our plate, just on the side there. And then we'll grab one of these chicken Marylands right next to it. All of this lovely aromatic sauce with the olives. And I've just been picking some fresh herbs, coriander and some parsley, and we'll just pop that on the side. Well, that is a beautiful dish. I love the spices in this. It's not spicy, but it's spiced, so it's aromatic. Let's have a look how this chicken is cooked. Oh, see how it just falls off the bone? And that's what we're after. That's why I love using chicken Marylands. Inexpensive and full of flavour. Moroccan food, we should be eating more of it. You can see how simple it is to put together.